Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to talk today about the Battle of Long Tan, and that was a key battle in the Vietnam War, and that involved the Australian and New Zealand forces against the Viet Cong, and it was 105 Australian soldiers and 3 New Zealand soldiers, so a total of 108 Anzac soldiers against 2,500 Viet Cong. So they were outnumbered more than 20 to 1, but the Aussies and the Kiwis, they still prevailed, and there were 18 dead Australian soldiers, and then there were, but the Viet Cong had 275 dead, maybe more, and well over 300 wounded. And the Battle of Long Tan was in the Phuoc Tuy province on a rubber plantation. And 60 Minutes, Australia's 60 Minutes show with Peter Harvey, they did an excerpt in Vietnam, and they brought with them 2 Vietnam veterans, Bob Buick, and Bob Buick was a commander. He ended up being platoon commander because his lieutenant, the platoon commander, got killed early in the battle, and Bob Buick was next in line to take command of the platoon, and he took command of the platoon it was a platoon of D Company, 6th Royal Australian Regiment. And Bob Buick and the Australian soldiers, they prevailed, and then they also interviewed a lieutenant from the other platoon of D Company, Lieutenant Dave Sabin, and they met with their former adversaries, and General Thu, who was at that battle, he confessed that the Australians won, but the NVA and Viet Cong won the war. And this time, the Australian soldiers and the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong soldiers, they met as friends, not as enemies. The war's over, but we need to remember it. The battle took place on August 18th, 1966, and Anzac Day is coming up for the Australians and the New Zealanders, and that's like they're a combination of their Veterans and Memorial Day. And so we need to remember the Battle of Long Tan. The Australian government did not properly recognize these soldiers at first. Now, the last 5 to 6 years, they really have, but right after the Vietnam War and right after the battle, they didn't recognize these soldiers. And that was kind of a major injustice. I admire the Australian government. All governments do things that they're not proud of from time to time, but we need to make sure that these brave Australian soldiers who fought in the Battle of Long Tan are recognized and they're respected because they deserve it, because they won against tremendous odds. It was raining, and they were outnumbered 20 to 1 against the Viet Cong and the NVA, but they still prevailed. And 60 Minutes with Peter Harvey did a good excerpt on it. Actually, General Thu, who was there in the battle, he this time met with Australian soldiers as friends, not as enemies, but a bullet went through this part of his face and came out here, and it didn't hit any major nerves or any major arteries or anything like that, and he was a tremendously lucky man. I believe there was divine intervention involved in that. And so God bless these brave Australian soldiers, and God bless the brave NVA and Viet Cong soldiers. That war's over, and Vietnam's an ally now. But we need to remember what happened at the Battle of Long Tan. So please remember the Battle of Long Tan. Please remember what transpired there, because these brave soldiers deserve our respect. So anyways, whoever's doing well, take care. God bless them. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.